Okay guys, good morning. Thursday morning. Not doing nothing today. I got some errands I gotta run, and all that, but ain't no money out here today. If I had regular help, then I probably could have made, instead of making, you know, $1,500 give or take, I probably could have made for $3,000 minimum, and with the Bobcat I could have made 6 or 7. Yeah, y'all, that's the truth. So I know that the shame bashing videos are you know, getting a lot of attention throughout YouTube land, and I am getting a lot of hate, but don't matter, you know. As long as ain't nobody you know, trying to do nothing to me physically, we all good. But I am gonna keep my radar up for any weird thing that may be coming at me. So yeah. But I do appreciate the comments, and I do appreciate all you guys that watch the channel and comment and just support the channel. You know, it means a lot to me to see that I'm not out there on an island by myself when I'm for what I believe is right, and not that I'm always right. You know, I mean, I'm not. You know, that's a proven that's a proven thing. But yeah. So, and again, I'm not trying to bash nobody, but I will say that, just to keep it 100 before I move on to another subject, and right now as I'm sitting here, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about today. That's how fluid some of my videos are, y'all. I mean, I don't really even, you know, I don't put together a script, right? I don't put together a script. I don't put together what I'm going to talk about or anything before I get in the truck. But I will say that the Lawn Stars unblocked me. Now, they might spin it, and I don't know. You know, like I said, I ain't got nothing against none of these guys. None of them pay my bills, so I don't really, you know. But they might spin it like I never was blocked. But, you know, but I was. So, you know, I guess who powers to be, whoever that is, with the Lawn Stars anyway, they, it looks like they unblocked me, or made it where, you know, everybody can see my comments. So I appreciate that. You know, that makes me, you know, feel better, you know. So yeah, so I'm going by the target range, and spend about an hour there at the shooting range. Made me feel better, you know. So I'm going on the way there. I got a few stops I need to make. I'm going up here by where the Bobcat is, and going to check the progress on the Bobcat. If the Bobcat is still sitting in the same place, then I'm going to call him, because I need to get the Bobcat back. You know, at least early next week. I got a lot of work, and it's piling up on me now. So I'm not really trying to do a lot of lawn cleanups and stuff if they're not my regular customers. So I got people calling me about cleanups, and do them, right? But I'm really not trying to do them because they're not my regular customer. And I'm not, if I was not, you know, I don't know, if I was terrible with my money, then I probably would have to start doing, you know, cleanups for people that I don't know. I don't mind doing work for people that's outside of my customer base. I mean, I will do it. It's not preferred though. I'm just saying. You don't, you know, for me, I don't want to. I done all of that, been there, done that. I don't have to do that anymore. So, I mean, especially with the lawn stuff, I'm not doing lawn cleanup solo for properties that I've never been to. I don't want to say that I won't never do that, because I never back myself into a corner like that, because it makes you look stupid when you say I'm never going to do this and then you end up doing it anyway. I don't normally put myself verbally into a corner like that where I'm never going to use Skag, or I'm never going to use Echo, or whatever. You know, I'm never going to back myself into a corner. Now, I might cry about using some of that stuff, but I'm never going to say never, you know, about things like that. And I don't like to tell you guys that I'm never going to do cleanups by myself or work by myself, when the reality is I may have to. And the reality is, well, if you say these type bold statements, that's what I call them, bold statements. You're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, you're not going to use this product, you're not going to do that product, you're not going to do, you know, if you are constantly saying that and then you actually go back on that, well, if you're doing YouTube, it makes you look kind of foolish. Not that I do that, but just from what I see other people do. You know, back yourself into a corner verbally talking about, you know, whatever. So, but I had much rather, and you just about have to, with the skid steer, my customers that I know, they take priority. Well, my customers I know take priority on everything as far as the work goes, even if it's not paying as much money. I'm going to try to keep my core customers, you know, high and tight, right? I'm going to try to keep them happy because they're the ones that have helped me get to this point. But I've learned that you can do that in the lawn care, you know, and if you got enough customers, you're good. But when it comes to the skid steer work, well, you're gonna have to work for people you probably don't know, and I don't really like doing that. I've gotten a little bit more acceptable of that since I got the skid steer, and I'd much rather have a referral to do skid steer than somebody just calling me straight up out of the blue. Though I've never had a problem getting paid on any skid steer job I've done, but that could very well happen. You know, I mean, that could happen to anybody.
Oh, no, so yeah, all that stuff, I've got it. Yeah, right now for all the hydraulic hoses, they removed the track. I put a fan belt on it, the air filter. Yeah, you put a bunch of hydraulic fluid. You're looking at $788.
Okay.
Right, and I've got to get that motor mount and that sending unit. I got to put on there. Yep, I'm not sure.
So, do you think it's a sending unit?
Yes.
I mean,
the engine doesn't make any noise.
I mean, the thing runs freaking good for, you know, how many hours on it.
And all that kind of stuff, you're okay.
Right.
You know.
Well, okay. Well, I'll let you get back to it, man. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you, though. All right.
All right, sir. All right.
Sir.
Thanks, Ray.
Right,
okay, man.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
$700? That ain't nothing, dude. Hell yeah. So if I get it back tomorrow or Monday, that's great, man. and at, you know, at $800 or whatever. If he says $750, then in my head I'm saying $800. So that's how I do it, man. You know, a lot of people say, well, he says $750, so they're telling themselves it's $700. No, it's $800. $750 is closer to $800 than $7. Because there always might be something that comes up, and that's great though. I mean, I can make that in one morning with the damn machine, with all the attachments I got, and not need labor either. See, the thing about having the Bobcat, when it comes to labor, or not having labor or whatever, in my area, and I don't know about anywhere else, in my area, I can just about dictate whether I bring somebody with me or not to the customer. I can say, okay, I can say, I'm gonna charge you $1,200, right? And I'll bring a guy, or I'll charge you $1,000 and I won't bring a guy, and then go into telling them, you know, if I don't bring a guy, then I'm not getting off the machine. And the only way I get off the machine is, well, you know, I'm not going to be, you know, getting off the machine as if like it would be if I had a guy on the ground. You know, I'll get off the machine to change the attachments and to make sure of this or that, but I'm not going to be, you know, heavy laboring without a guy out there. But I'll be making really close to the same money, you know. And considering I own the machine, I'm not renting it, well, that puts you in a whole nother realm of making money. I can go out with a skid steer and in 2 days, 3 days, minimal labor required, and make $3,000, you know, easy. And I'm not really, like I said, y'all know that I'm not really a seasoned vet at the skid steer game, not yet. I'm doing okay with it, and I'm learning, but I'm not where I can be. I'm not nearly as efficient with it. I'm not nearly as good bidding on work, and you know, that kind of thing. I'm not nearly as good at that kind of thing as I can be. I got a lot of learning to still do, and I embrace that, man. So, you know, I'm all about, I want to, you know, learn all the ins and outs, because I'm not going to be getting out of the skid steer game. Not at all. I'd venture to say that I get out of the damn lawn care game before I got out of the skid steer game, providing that I can continue to evolve and learn the skid steer game like I know the lawn care game. See, the lawn care game to me is pretty relatively easy. It's not really a, I don't know, I want to say it in a bad way, but it's not really that challenging to me anymore, right? Because I've been doing it so long. So a lot of times when the guys, you know, that work for me or whatever, they don't show up for work and this and that, and I, you know, I'm like, man, why, man? It's so easy, you know. And they can make, you know, guys that don't have an education or a career type job, you know, they can make a lot of money in the lawn care game. Even guys that's got degrees and stuff, they'll find themselves, well, I don't even want to work in an office. I want to work on, you know, out in the lawn care world. You can make a lot of money in the lawn care game. You can, but you got to learn from your mistakes, and you have to, you know, you have to grow the business to a certain point to make a lot of money. Of course, whenever you're making more money, you got more headaches. That's the truth. Whenever. More money bring more problems. But if you can make more money and be smart with more money, then you can limit your problems, or your problems can be minimized because you got money, you know, and you got equipment. Once you get the equipment and the equipment's paid for, well, you can do yards and you can get work a lot better because you don't have all the expenses, even, you know, if you're starting out. And I'm not talking about going and buying a Troy built homeowner Z-turn mower that first thing you hit, you're going to bend something and it's never going to cut right. I'm talking about once you can get past your initial commercial mower purchase. See, when I got past the initial mower purchase, my thinking was, okay, I want to get another mower. Now everybody don't think like that, because I knew where I was at, and I knew that I didn't want to, if I'm going to do this type of work and make good money, I don't want to be, you know, out here with subpar equipment, depending on it to make a living for me and my family. I didn't want to do that. I want to have top of the line equipment, or, you know, as good as I can get, and evolve from there. So, and I know a lot of you guys will come, well, everybody can't afford this mower, that mower, that mower, this mower, you know. I get it, man. It's hard, man. It's hard to evolve and grow. And again, I didn't have all these mowers that you see me have now. I didn't have all this good equipment in the very beginning. You know, the first 5 years was tractor mowers and homeowner zero turns. But I stayed at it, pecking away. Just kept going, you know. All right, y'all, so I'm pulling up over here. I'm gonna, yeah. All right, man, that was cool. So I got somebody texting me about some more skid steer work. I thought I took the ad down, man, but I don't know, man. So, yeah. I need my Bobcat back, y'all. I don't really have a spot today, right now, for a guy to come out here and work every day. I don't have the work, especially without the Bobcat. And you don't want to bring a guy into the wrong environment with the Bobcat, thinking that the lawn care is going to pay him as much as the Bobcat work. Now you can do that and try to, you know, see if you jive with them, and that's good. You know, I don't mind doing that. And it ain't about money. It's just about not failing. And a lot of you guys can look at the business and say, well, Ray, you're failing now. You don't have any help. But I'm not. I'm not failing. I am. And we can say that I'm living in an illusional world, but I'm not. I'm failing at having a guy on board, but my finances are not. I'm not impacted by the finances, by the financial part. Now, that could happen, right? I mean, but it would take a whole lot for me to hurt financially at this point if nothing happens to me. Now, of course, if I have a heart attack or stroke or any kind of medical emergency, break a leg, break an arm, or anything like that, well, of course, that's going to affect me a lot more than than anything else. But I'm talking about financial problems based solely on employees or not. You know. And the guy in Shane's comments the other day, he made a good point, and it's not lost on me. I know that. I know that it doesn't make sense to have all this equipment. Well, the man lifting the Bobcat, that's one man work anyway. I mean, that's a one man piece of equipment anyway. Nobody else runs that but me anyway. Now having, 4 or 5 big boy expensive lawnmowers, well, it don't never look like it makes sense this time of year. It don't make sense until you're in the middle of the heat of the summer and a mower goes down and you're on 3 acres or 8 acres or 10 acres. So, of course, you can look now and say, well, man, you got all that equipment, dude, and you ain't even got no help. What a dummy you are. And maybe so. Might look a lot dumber than I actually am. The situation may look a lot dumber than it actually is. But in my area, everybody goes through this slow period of about 90 days in the wintertime as far as the mowing goes, lawnmower stuff. So we can say, and you can look and say, well, that's foolish to have all them mowers, man. You ain't got nobody to run them. Well, I ain't got no work to run the mowers anyway. It only benefits during the summertime. And it's designed like that. Yeah, I don't buy a new mower every year and get rid of the mower at the end of the season and then do it again. You got to keep the mowers, So you can look and say, well, damn, he's got 4 mowers and there's only one of him. You're right. I agree. He's got 1 skid steer, but there's only one of him. And the skid steer is paid for. Oh, well, that kind of changes the game a little bit, right? He's got only 1 man lift. That ain't paid for. That I'm suckered into paying what I'm supposed to pay. There's no getting out of it early. Very valuable lesson I learned there in the financials of running a business and of acquiring equipment. I learned a very valuable lesson there. It won't happen again. You got to learn from your mistakes out here. Though that mistake is not detrimental, I'm paying, instead of me paying $800 in interest, I'm paying $1,500 in interest. I mean, I ain't gonna loan nobody $10,000 without making $1,500 in interest either. I mean, would you? Would you loan somebody $10,000 and that you don't know that you are going to loan them $10,000 and you only want $11,500 back and some change? I wouldn't do that. If I'm loaning somebody $10,000, it's either going to be somebody I really, really know, a family member that's, so that's proven, right? Or I'm not going to loan the money out. I'm not going to loan it out for a $1,500 payday after they pay the 10 grand back. I take that 10 grand and I can break it down into other things and do other things and make $1,500 in no time, instead of waiting 3 years on $1,500 or 2 years, whatever. I don't even freaking know. 40 something payments, how much ever that is. I still get upset and think about that crap, y'all. But it's not detrimental, right? You know. And we can look at all that equipment, mowers and everything, and what a dummy. He's solo and he ain't got nobody, and he's got all his equipment. I'd rather have too much equipment than not enough. Always. Because at the end of the day, if the business model changes, right, I can sell some equipment. I mean, if I want to. I'm not the type of dude that's going to wait till he's broke to start making moves with that kind of thing. Not me. But see, I know that this time of year that it's easy to get flustered, and it's easy to get a little scared. It's a little spooky, to be honest, especially in the beginning when you're not sure and this and that, always a little bit edgy, a little bit scary, a little bit just a little spooky, because you're not working like you were working in the summertime and into the fall. Well, I'm talking about the lawn care, and you're not and you haven't been working regular from Christmas to now, 6 or 7 weeks, and you start to look around and say, I started looking around when I was first, first started, look around, and I would get scared about am I missing something, and after, a month or two of that, it really can weigh on you, on your mentality. But you kind of just got to ride that out and do work that you can do. That, from, cleaning gutters out and that kind of, that's kind of what I did in the beginning, just kind of, I don't know, man, you just got to kind of, stay with it, and don't get sidetracked by all the noise around you, and over time it becomes easier and easier for you, because you will have learned in the summertime, you'll remember the feeling that you're feeling now, and you'll be like, okay, I'm balls to the wall now, I'm making bank money now. I don't ever want to feel like I did last January or February, where I'm worried. So let me take steps now to make sure that I don't have to pay big boy bills and things like that in the wintertime. And that's where it all kind of started coming together for me. It all started coming together when I started making enough money to pay my bills in the summertime and then some. But that then some has got to be spread around, whatever your business model is, as far as equipment goes, and it's also got to be spread around for your off season. And that to me, y'all, and this is straight up, man, that to me is the trickiest thing. Okay, it's extremely tricky going from having a 9 to 5 where you're working all the time. You're really working your life away for peanuts with no control. That's really what you're doing. But the price of that you pay for having a 9 to 5. It gives you some consistency that you're not going to have out here until you figure it all out. Again, you got to be thinking about what you're doing and what your bigger plan is. I mean, you know, for me, I hate working for the man. I hate working for the man so much that, well, I became my own definition of the man by me being in charge of my destiny and my business. You want to be in charge, and you want to be confident, and you want to be able to hold your head up and say, and tell yourself and live it, that I can do this, that I can make it, that I'm an anomaly. It doesn't matter what anybody else says, you know, as long as you have the due diligence and the work ethic to push through times like what you're probably, if you just started it here in the last year or two, what you're going through right now. For me, that was the biggest part, is getting through November to March. You know, 3, 4, 5 months there in my area. Now, some of you guys that live up north, well, that's a whole nother challenge, because the growing season is not as long, right? Our growing season here is 8 or 9 months, you know, 8 months solid. I know the further up north you get, the less that is, right? But then you have other things that you can do that you can't do down here. And that's like, you know, snow plowing and stuff like that. You know, I don't know what you can make in the lawn care game if you're in, I don't know, Michigan, Ohio, or Minnesota. I have no idea, because I don't know how long the growing season is. I only know what I can do down here in the 6 or 7 months, that 8 months that, you know, that we're in the growing season here. I don't really, I couldn't imagine living in, I don't know, Minnesota and dependent on the lawn care as my sole income. That'd be pretty hard to do, y'all. It would be, for me, and I know it would be, just based on what I know about the weather up there. You know, living down south, you know, we can cry about the heat, and we can cry about this, and we can cry about that, but there's a few good things about living down south that makes it pretty appealing to a guy in this field. Number one, the growing season is pretty long. Okay. Number two, the cost of living is not out of control yet. You know, of course, you've got areas that cost you more to live, just like everywhere else. But down here in the south, there's a nice mix of work to do, because it never really gets that cold. Now, it does get extremely hot, but if you're a lawn care person and you're in the lawn care game and you got the equipment, it's easy to make a living in the summertime here, as long as you got the equipment and you can handle the heat. That's the hardest thing, is the heat. But you got to have the equipment too, because if you don't have the equipment, you're going to have a hard time competing with a guy like me. You'll have to do your time just like I did, and just like I've talked about in other videos. But there's plenty of work out here, down here where I live at. There's plenty. There's more work out here than I want to do. You know. Anyway, again, this is just, you know, just a little bit of strategy talk, trying to overcome the last couple of days of rant videos, try to get back to what I do out here, and all that. I'm done with it unless I'm attacked. Then, you know, I will, I'm gonna do what I feel like I need to do in order to save face, I guess. But if it's all done in humor and all that, then bravo, you know. Very entertaining. I appreciate it. I'm flattered. And I know a lot of you guys that are in the comments, y'all are friends with Shane and y'all are friends with me. And I'm not gonna judge you for being in Shane's lives. Don't worry, we're good, okay? I'm not that type. I'm not gonna try to control you. I'm not gonna not be your friend because of that. Now, I hate it that you're in that spot, because Shane probably doesn't, well, I know for a fact Shane doesn't feel the same way. He's not gonna be happy with you if you're coming into my comments and you're coming into his comments. I could care less, because I'm confident in who I am, and you should be too. And that's the biggest downside to being friends with Shane, because he's going to kick you to the curb, or he's going to feel a certain type of way about you coming into my videos or coming into my comments. Not to mention if I did a live or anything. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, if I do a live, will y'all come? Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Even the people that don't normally comment. A lot of you guys may have a problem if you think Shane is your buddy and I'm your buddy. You're not going to have a problem on this end. You're going to have a problem on the other end. And, you know, whatever. You know, I hate it that he's like that, but that's the reality. So, yeah. All right, y'all. I got to go, man. Peace out.